Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be going over how to find the equation of a line given the slope and a point on the line. In 5.1 we were given the slope and the y-intercept and we were asked to write the equation of the line. In this case we're only given the slope, we're not given the y-intercept, but we're given a point. Remember that a coordinate point is an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. So if we're trying to find the equation of this line, in the form y equals mx plus b, we can plug in what we know and solve for what we don't know. So we know that we have a coordinate point 1, 3 that's on the line. So we can plug in our y coordinate, which is 3 for y. So 3 equals, our slope m is 2. So 2 times x, which our x coordinate is 1, so we can plug in 1. We don't know what b is, so we'll just leave it plus b. And so now all we have to do is solve for b. So we have 3 is equal to 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is just 2, plus b. And then to solve for b, we have to do inverse operations. The opposite of adding 2 would be subtracting 2. So we have to do that from both sides. So 3 minus 2 would be 1, is b. So our y-intercept would be 1. Now, it's just like what we were doing in 5.1. We have our slope, we have our y-intercept, so we can write our equation. Y equals our slope, which is 2, times x plus b, which would be 1. And there we are. All right, try to do the next one on your own. So, in this case, we're given m is 1/3, and we're given the point 3, negative 12. So we have to plug in what we know to the equation y equals mx plus b. We know y, it's negative 12. I got that from our coordinate point. We know m, it's 1/3. We also know x, it's our coordinate point 3. And then we'll have to solve for b. So now we have 1/3 times 3. So we're multiplying across fractions. Remember that 3 is technically 3 over 1. So on the left we have negative 12 is equal to, so we multiply across the top, 1 times 3, which is 3. And then we multiply across the bottom, 3 times 1, which is also 3, plus b. Well, we have 3 divided by 3. And anything divided by itself is just 1. So we have negative 12 is equal to 1 plus b. Inverse operations, we have to subtract 1 from both sides. So we have negative 12 minus 1, which is negative 13, is b. So our slope is 1/3. Our y-intercept is negative 13. Plugging that into our slope-intercept form, we have y is 1/3 x minus 13. Next we have to write the equation of the line. We did similar problems to this in 5.1. We were given the graph and we had to find our y-intercept and we had to find our slope. Well, in this case, we're kind of given our slope and a point, and we'll do what we did in the first example. So our slope, well, we can see our rise over run here. Our rise would be 1. And our run would be 2. So we have a rise over run of 1/2. And that's our slope. And then we're also given the point 2, 3. So now this turns into a problem that we have just been doing. Go ahead and pause it and see if you can do it yourself. So we have our slope, we have a point. We're going to have to solve for b. So we have the coordinate point xy is 2, 3. So 3 is y. Y equals our slope, which is 1/2, times our x value, which is 2, plus b, which we'll have to figure out. Now we have 1/2 times 2. Remember, 2 is technically 2 over 1. So this is kind of like the problem we just did. We could multiply across, but I noticed that we have a 2 in the numerator and a 2 in the denominator, so they cancel, and we're just left with 1. So we get 3 is 1 plus b. Doing inverse operations, we subtract 1 from both sides, so we get 2 is b. So now we have our y-intercept, we have our slope. So our equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Go ahead and try to do the next one on your own. Alright, just looking at the graph, I'm able to tell that it's in a negative trend. Because if you were to stand on this and walk in the forward direction, we would be going down. So that tells me our slope is going to be negative. And then I can see that our rise is 1 and our run is also 1. So we have negative 1/1 is our slope. But we can just write that as negative 1. And we're given the point 0, 0. So we plug in what we know. We know x, y, and m. So we'll plug in 0 for y, negative 1 for m, 0 for x, and then figure out what b is. 0 times anything is just 0. So this will be 0 equals 0, so many zeros, plus b. So b is 0. So our slope is negative 1, our intercept is 0. So our equation becomes y equals negative 1x plus 0, which I can just write as negative x. And there we go.